If your React Native app uses a JSON Web Token that lasts 30 days, your users are exposed and most developers don't realize it. Today, I'll show you how real apps handle authentication using access and refresh token and why it matters. You should not use just one long-lived token. So let's take a look at our code here. So we have a login route that basically it's asking for or requesting an email and password. Then we compare it to our fake database over here. And if everything goes well, we are gonna get the access and refresh token. If not, we are gonna send this error message to our front end, right? And so once we get the refresh token and the access token, we are gonna save the refresh token, right? And of course, we'll send this to the front end. So let's take a look at this function. So when we create our refresh token, we are gonna save it. In this case, we are saving this in memory, right? In the real life project, you will save this in a database, and it will have to be encrypted, right? Then we have this other function that basically revoke the refresh token. And what it does is basically delete the previous token and update the new token, right? And then we have the this other function to check if the token or the refresh token is active, right? When we talk about access token and refresh token, basically the access token is to access protected route, and the expiration time has to be 10 to 15 minutes. In this case, I only got 1 minute because it's just a demo, but ideally has to be 10 to 15 minutes. Now you wonder how the user stay logged in if the token only lasts 10 to 15 minutes. And then that's when the refresh token comes into the scene, right? And this refresh token it will last 7 to any days that you want, right? It's up to you. This depends how you structure your data, but in my case, I'm gonna have it for 7 days. And once we generate the refresh token, this token will be utilized to generate another access token. That's the only job that this refresh token has, right? And you never use this to access any protected route, right? So now once that we log in, we got the access token, the refresh token. We are gonna when the user that the access token expire, we are gonna use the refresh token, right, route. And basically over here we will I add this console, so when we do the demo we will see when this route is called, right? But basically here it's doing the same thing. We are getting the refresh token from the request or from the body request, and then we are verifying the token, and if everything goes well, we are going to make sure it is the refresh token is active, and if it is not active, we basically gonna send this to the front end, right? And if everything goes well, if the refresh token is valid, we are gonna find a user, and if we don't find a user, we are gonna send this to the front end, user not found, right? If everything goes well, we are gonna revoke the token. Basically, we invalidate the token, and we are gonna generate new access token and new refresh token, right? And we saved the new token, right? And of course, we send them to the front end. And this is called rotation, and rotation just means that every time you generate a new access token, we basically generate a new refresh token, right, as well. So that way we keep rotating, right? And why this is important? It's important because let's imagine someone steal our JSON web token, right? They're gonna have like 15 minutes to steal the information, right? Which is a really small window for someone to steal information, a user's information, right? So that's why it's very important to have the access and refresh token. And then we have the logout that basically receive the refresh token, and we revoke that token, we invalidate it, we verify it, and invalidate that token, right? And we have the me route, which basically in this case is when it's gonna access information about this particular user, right? And we have the middlewares. I think we talked about the middlewares already. As you can see here, is the access token is the one that is giving access to that protected road, right? So let's take a look at the demo. But before we take a look at the demo, let's take a look at the front end code, right? We have a utility IP fetch, and basically what it's doing here is using the expo security token instead of async storage. This is more secure because it's encrypted the data in your local device. And so basically we have this helper which basically get the tokens and both token, right? The access and refresh token. Then we can set the tokens as well, and we can clear them as well. So here is the API fetch, right? As you can see, this API fetch is being used here in the login, and basically it's something simple, right? That we have the access token we are getting from the token storage, and then basically we are passing the headers, and we have the fetch over here, which basically is taking the full URL or the endpoints that you need. And basically we have the auctions, which is basically this part over here. And then if the token, the access token has expired, the response will be, or the status response will be 401. And basically once this is happening, we need to get the refresh token, right, from the local storage here in our mobile device. And then we need to generate one, and the way we generate one is to call this endpoint, right, the auth refresh, which we have it here in the backend, right, which is this one basically. So once we call that, it will generate a new we pass the refresh token, and the backend will provide us a new access and refresh token, and basically we store them again in the token storage, right? So once that happens, you can access again to the protected row, which is me, and you will get the data for that user, right? And the user will not notice that, and we will see that in the demo, right? Let's go to the demo and let's see how this works, right? Let's imagine we log in, and basically I believe we are gonna see here we are hitting those routes, right? That's why I added this console. So let's log in, and we are logged in, and it's telling here that we are logging. Once we log in, we can call the protected road, right? And we only have 1 minute, right? And this is just for demo. Ideally, it has to be 10 to 15 minutes. Let's call the protected road. As you can see, user is authenticated, right? Which is the protected road, right? Everything goes well. We are good to call the protected road, right? Once the minute pass, we are going to call the refresh road, right? Which in this case, we will see these logs appears here once the user make another call, and they won't notice that they changed the token, the access and refresh token, right? And for the other code for in the front end, we will see this log here, right? Because this is when the token basically we get the refresh token successfully, and we are gonna make the calls regularly. And let's wait. I think that's a good 1 minute. As you can see now, we have this, right? We are calling a refresh token. As you can see over here, we see this console, and in the backend we should see that as well. As you can see, it's over here, right? This is the first call when we call it, and this is the second call. We are basically accessing to the refresh token, which basically is generating, it's verifying and validating, and then sending the new access and the new refresh token. And basically when we logged out, we invalidate everything, right? Log out, request received, which is this route over here, and basically that token is revoked or invalidated, right? Verified it first and then revoke it, right? And that's it for today, guys. I hope you understand the concept there. Just a recap. Remember, the access token is just to access protected route, and the refresh token is to generate a new access token, right? And never use the refresh token to access protected route. And basically there is a rotation, and the rotation basically just means that when you call this row to refresh, you will generate new tokens for refresh and access, right? And another thing to remember, it's the access token will expire in 10 to 15 minutes, right? In my case, I add 1 minute just because this is just a demo. And the refresh token has to be a long-lived token, right? 7 days in my case. It can be more, 15, 30 days, depends how you structure your data. But I hope you understand the concept here. And when you save the token, remember, this is a demo, but ideally it has to be in the database. It has to be encrypted, right? And that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.